You are looking at two vintage Rolex watches from the 1960s. Both share similar wear, and both look virtually identical from the outside. This table breaks down the dilemma. Two watches with matching exteriors and condition, yet the bottom row shows a $1,200 gap. The reason lives entirely behind the caseback. You are paying for the difference between Rolex Calibre 1520 and Calibre 1570. Rolex originally engineered these as mechanical tools to survive freezing temperatures, deep cave expeditions, and dark ocean water. The 1500 Calibre family served as the engine for Rolex's most recognizable tool watches, from the Submariner 5513 to the Explorer 1016. These references defined the brand's production standards from the early 1960s through the late 1980s. Is the mechanical upgrade in the 1570 actually worth paying a $1,200 premium? Answering that requires understanding what you are actually buying. Knowing the exact specifications of these movements is how you verify the authenticity, assess the condition, and secure the true value of the watch on your wrist. Let us open them up. Architecturally, these two movements are nearly twins. Both tick at exactly 2.5 Hz, and both hold a 42-hour power reserve when fully wound. This comparison matrix shows where they diverge. The column on the left details the Calibre 1570. Notice the specific upgrades, 26 jewels, and a quickset feature. That quickset is the defining mechanical upgrade. Pull the crown to position 2 to advance the date directly. If you own several watches and rotate them throughout the week, your automatics will stop running in the drawer. A quickset lets you pick up a dead watch, correct the date in 5 seconds, and walk out the door. Look at the right column for the Calibre 1520. It relies on a standard 17-jewel layout and lacks that quickset mechanism. If your 1520 runs out of power and the date falls behind, you must manually cycle the hour hand past midnight, over and over. That $1,200 gap represents a convenience tax, the price for avoiding the manual labor of advancing those hands. Mechanically, neither movement is better at keeping time. The choice strictly boils down to how much you value saving 30 seconds during your morning routine. That calculation changes completely if you are looking at references like the 5513 Submariner or the 1016 Explorer. These models do not have a date function. Look at this visual comparison. On the left is a Cyclops magnifying lens over a date window. On the right, a clean dial displaying only the time. If a Calibre 1520 is inside a no-date watch, its only weakness disappears. You cannot be frustrated by a missing quickset mechanism if there is no date to set. Because some vintage references were produced with both calibers over their lifespan, you must cross-reference the serial number between the lugs with production charts to know exactly which engine is inside. By deliberately targeting a 1520 in a no-date model, you secure the proven durability of the Rolex 1500 family at a much lower entry price. For a no-date collector, hunting for a 1570 movement offers zero functional benefit. Instead, you are better off reallocating that $1,200 to secure a watch in superior physical condition.
Beyond usability, you have to use these caliber specifications to protect your investment. Knowing the movement helps you spot a Frankenwatch, a piece cobbled together from mismatched eras, without ever opening the caseback. The first external test is simple. Pull the crown to position 2 and turn it. If the date jumps immediately, you have a 1570. If you have to spin the hands through midnight, it is a 1520. Next, you need to verify that the external hardware matches the movement's production era, starting with the bracelet. This timeline maps out the hardware transition. Early 1520 calibers from the 1960s should typically be paired with folded clasps. By the time the 1570 became standard in the 1970s, production had shifted to solid oyster clasps. If a seller claims a watch houses a late-era 1570, but it sits on an early riveted bracelet, that discrepancy is a major red flag. The second critical verification marker is right on the dial, the luminous material used for the hour markers. Take a look at the dial on this Submariner. You can see the original tritium lume has aged into a distinct caramel yellow tone.
This uneven, natural patina is exactly what you want to see on an authentic 1960s or 70s piece. If someone hands you a 1520-era watch and the hour markers glow bright, uniform white, the dial has almost certainly been replaced or reloomed. Even if a watchmaker opens the back and proves there is a pristine 1570 inside, that premium evaporates if the dial and bracelet belong to a different decade. Deciding which caliber to buy does not require a deep engineering background. It relies entirely on your wearing habits and the size of your collection. This flowchart simplifies the logic. The first question you have to answer is, do you require a date function on your wrist? If you answer no, the decision is made. Follow the path straight to the caliber 1520. It is the undisputed value choice. If you answer yes, you reach the second fork in the road. Are you a daily wearer, or are you a rotation collector? A daily wearer keeps the watch strapped to their wrist, meaning the automatic rotor constantly winds the mainspring. The watch never stops. In this scenario, the 1520 is perfectly adequate and leaves an extra $1,200 in your pocket. But if you rotate through several watches, they will wind down and stop in your watch box. Here, the 1570's quickset becomes mandatory to prevent daily frustration. There is no objectively superior movement between the two. There is only the movement that correctly scales to how you actually interact with your collection. Beneath the jewel counts and the calendar mechanics, both the 1520 and 1570 are identical, highly serviceable workhorses. These are physical machines that have endured decades of wear. Keeping them running requires meticulous precision and regular servicing. A poorly maintained 1570 with water damage will cause you far more headaches than a pristine, well-lubricated 1520. When navigating the vintage Rolex market, your priorities are simple. Buy the condition of the parts and the authenticity of the era first. Treat the convenience of the caliber as a secondary bonus.